Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. And for people who are on the call that don't know me, I'm Samantha Rosenthal, and I'm the founder of Team Bold Fitness. And today I wanted to put together this training about how we can keep our business spinning forward. So, we talk about a lot of things in this business, and each time I talk about a certain thing, I think it's the most important. But in reality, all of these vital behaviors just work together to keep moving us forward. So today we're going to talk about how to reach out, reconnect, invite, and follow up with our contacts or potential customers. So I don't know if everyone knows, but they kind of just switched over from 3 vital behaviors to 4 vital behaviors. So we're going to talk about those 4 things really, really briefly. But the reason that we have 4 daily vital behaviors is because we want to be doing these things daily. Now, because I am a time efficient person, I'm like the kind of person that's like, okay, it's Monday, maybe I can do all of my work for the week and then just catch up. If top coaches suggest you reach out to 2 to 5 people a day, I'm like, okay, well, what if I just did 15? And then I'm good for the week. Well, they're called daily vital behaviors because you need to be doing them every day. And so I thought of this Ferris wheel here, because if the Ferris wheel was your month, this is maybe a silly image in my head, but if you added 2 people every day into your Ferris wheel, by the end of the month your Ferris wheel would be full. But it has to stop at the bottom every time for new people to get on. And so they don't all just appear on your Ferris wheel. You have to put them on, and then they're all there, and you're talking to as many as you can, and you're building relationships. So the 4 daily vital behaviors are be proof the products work, which is something that we want to be doing our workouts, drinking Shakeology, posting recipes, sharing these things with people we know, people we don't know, and we do a lot of that through social media, which is why I kind of put it floating over here, because it's not considered a vital behavior, but it is kind of how we share our stories. The next one is personal development. And personal development, you can try to grow in any area. It doesn't have to be health and fitness. It doesn't have to be leadership, but it can be those things. It also could be organization. Doing this training today about how to stay organized, that's personal development. You're growing in an area, any area you'd like. And then invite, which is inviting people to your challenge groups, inviting people to your free groups, inviting them to the coaching opportunity, inviting them to try Shakeology or try the containers to help them start eating clean. It's inviting them to anything that you can help them with. And then the newest one is recognition, and I call it recognition and shout outs, because, it's a big one that they added because we want to be recognizing our team. And if you don't have coaches under you, you're like, well, who can I recognize? You could recognize people on the same level as you. You could recognize challengers. You could recognize anybody. But it's just another vital behavior that they have, Beachbody has decided that it is something that needs to be done. And the top coaches who are succeeding are doing this every single day. And so they added it on there. So today we're going to talk about that invite piece, because the invite is kind of the end result to this back part. You don't just log on to Facebook and start clicking on people and inviting people to your challenge groups. You can do that, but I wouldn't recommend that. That's called a cold invite, and sometimes it can be done, and there are situations that a cold invite would kind of work. But for the most part, you need to kind of get to know somebody. That's how you're going to have more success. Anyways, so because I was a teacher, I have to give you an objective. The objective for this training is that you're going to at the end of this training, you're going to leave with a plan and tools to be able to start doing your reach outs for your invites like right away. And also, I'm going to provide you with actual examples of my follow-ups, my reach outs, my invites. So you can refer back to this. Also, these examples are already in, or some of them, not mine, are in Forever Fitness, and I'll add these ones into Team Bold Fitness. So, all right, let's get going. Okay, so this is how I break up the invite part of my day. So definitions are a reach out. A reach out is contacting somebody for the first time to begin building a relationship. So it's the very first time you contact this person. That's kind of how I think of it in my mind. A reconnect, or, you know, just continuing to connect with somebody, is when you're going back to this person after you've already reached out to them, maybe a few days, maybe a few weeks, maybe a month later, and just continuing to form. And if you've ever heard of FORM, it's an acronym for family, occupation, recreation, and message. So when we're getting to know people, you know, we want to know about their family, and their occupation, what they do for fun, what they love doing, and then ultimately what the message is, what your message is to them. You know, as you're getting to know them, you might find a need that maybe you could help with. And that need is sometimes joining a challenge group. Sometimes that need is for weight loss, but sometimes that need is for community. I invited somebody to my challenge group recently because she had just moved to a new place. She's like awesome at health, fitness, like she's ripped, like she's doing great, but she's all by herself in California now. They just moved, they just relocated, and she's all by herself. And she already has a passion for these things. And so I felt that the challenge group would just give her a sense of community, of people who were like her that she could talk to. So that need is different. A lot of times we are kind of looking for the people who are going to get a challenge pack. And that's something that I personally am trying to get away from in my mind. And I suggest you do that because there are so many ways we can help people. And, you know, sometimes that involves a challenge pack and sometimes that doesn't. So anyways, and then so the message is, you know, how you could help them in any of those areas. Now, then as you begin to form and you are connecting with them, you're, you know, just loving on them. And then you can invite. So asking them, you know, just that invite part, asking them to join a free group, a challenge group, to try Shakeology, to be a coach, what the business opportunity could do for them, really anything. I started asking if people wanted to try the samples of Shakeology because they were struggling with their nutrition. It's kind of hard when you look at your calendar and you see a challenge group coming up. You want to like fit that, you know, like fit people into that mold. And sometimes it doesn't work. So that's why we should be inviting every day with the grand scheme of the month in mind and the needs of the people. So, you know, not just inviting challenge groups the week before, looking at people you're talking to and seeing if a need came up and just inviting to help them. Now, a follow-up is something that is really, really important. It's going back to either re-invite, see what they're doing is working. You know, I have a lot of people be like, you know what, I'm doing my own thing right now. I'm doing boot camp and I love it. So I'll just go back and follow up because I care, you know, I think on the National Wake Up Call, they said recently that, like, you know, the Beachbody programs are not like the only way to lose weight. It is not the only way to be fit. Fitness is fitness. But these programs do simplify it and they do get results. Like that's 100%. They do get results if people follow them. But it's not the only way. People are hikers, people are runners, people do a bunch of other things, and that's okay. That's great. You know, promoting people being healthy is exactly what we should be doing. So caring about them and seeing how that's working is, again, just it's connecting with them. It's showing them that you care, that your relationship goes past the invite. It's not just about that. I also follow up to people. I don't think I put that in on there, that definition, but I follow up with people when they don't answer, because a lot of times you send an invite and then it's like crickets. It's super awkward. So I follow up, and I have examples of that in a second, to show like that there is no pressure and that our relationship is going to go past this point, and you joining my group or not joining my free group is not the end of this. I'm still going to ask you how your kids are. I'm still going to ask you how you're doing. And there's no pressure. And a lot of times when I do that follow up, people will say, oh, you know what, just right now is not a good time. And so that gives me an opportunity in a few months to ask them, or next month, or, kind of depending on how I feel about the relationship. So this is how we're going to like literally break it down, how you're going to do your reach outs. You need to be working from a list, period. End of story. You need to be working from a list, because as you start talking to more and more people fall through the cracks. And that is what just happened to me for the past little while. I was working a list, I was getting people down, but I knew, like, when it was time to follow up with people for a next group, I was like, I know there was more people than this. Like, where are they? And so I spent, I think, most of May, like, watching top coach YouTube videos and figuring out what would work for me, because it's all going to work differently for everyone. But you have to be working from a list. So if you're just getting going, and even when I say just getting going, if you've been going for a few months, write down a list of everybody you know, like people who come to your mind, people you work with, people in your family, people you went to school with, maybe like if you had a serving job and you remember all those people because you love them, write them down, because those are your general warm market. Those are people who, when you reach out to them, it's not like, who is this person? Like, you actually have a previous relationship with them of some kind. And so it's easier to slide into a conversation. So do that, make a list. And, even on notebook paper is totally fine, because it's a more casual list for what I think of it as. And you can cross those people off and add them to your list. Now, I want you, Kiara, an amazing coach on my team, she shared this idea that was like mind-blowing to me. And I was like, why have I never done this? Download your Facebook friends into an Excel sheet. So that's what this picture is on the side here. It's all my Facebook friends, just a portion of them, the A's. And I am literally going through and checking people off in order. I color code in blue because they're males that I am not contacting, or it's not that I don't contact men, but I don't contact men I don't know. And that's just my preference. Everyone has different comfort zones. But I'm going through, and then because I've already been a coach for a year, there's a lot of these people that I've already contacted. So I'm considering that like a reconnect when I'm reaching out to somebody that I already spoke to. And then I'm making notes like they never answered. And a lot of people never answer. And that's another reason why we need to be doing reach outs every single day, because there might be days where you reach out to 2 people and neither of them answer. And that's not your fault, because you can only do so much. But if you only reach out to 2 people that whole week, then, your business isn't growing forward. And so that's not what you want. And then check your recent friends on Facebook. So when I sit down to do my reach outs, the first thing I do is I go to my recent friends and I see who has accepted, who either because, we're all on our phones all the time, like, let's just face it. And if you're out to dinner and you get a friend request, you just hit it. And you're not like, oh, I'm going to remember to put this person on my list. No, and ideally we do, but then we forget. So I go to my recent friends, and that's the people who have friend requested me, or I've friend requested and they've accepted. And if I have a certain amount of people, I just, boom, do them all right there. I look at, just a few of their posts, and I see what they're up to, what I can just comment on, just a reach out of hi, how are you? Oh, I saw you got married. Your wedding pictures are beautiful. Whatever. So, and then I added down here, disclaimer, remember you're also adding 2 people to your network each day. And I don't do that in my power hour. Some people will suggest you do that. I kind of do that at like the more casual part of my day is what I call it. I like go into moms groups, or I go into people I know and respect and love and see if we have mutual friends in common, or if like I went to their birthday party and I recognize somebody, that kind of a thing. Just adding your network. So, because when I first started, I felt like I didn't know who to contact. And so I figured if we just simplified it, and I literally gave you a list. Your list is your Facebook friends. Your list is your recent friends on your Facebook, that little tab. And that list of your warm market that you made of people you already know and love, then you can do your reach out super fast. That takes half of the workout of the stress of who do I talk to today? I don't know. I'm just not going to do it, because that's what we do. We shut down when we don't know what to do. Okay, so continuing the reach outs. So the picture here is my list. So before, those are like the other lists of where I'm getting my names from. This is like my actual physical list. And it's a little blurry because I didn't want to make it super clear. It does have people's names and a little bit of their personal information. But again, I'm going to provide you with this to start using today if you wanted, but I'll explain it. So when I talk to somebody or reach out to them, like one of these examples, like the center one here, this is a girl I know, her sister, that I met like one time 5 years ago. So I just said, hey, Julie, how are you doing? I hope you have some awesome summer plans with the kiddos. They are so cute. So it's like super breezy. I try to be like breezy and casual because that works for me. I am naturally a social person. And so this part of it is a strength for me, but it's not a strength for everybody, and that's okay. That's why we do these trainings. That's why the other coaches have provided trainings we can find on YouTube. If you're struggling with what to actually say to a person, let me know, and I can help find a training, or I can sit and talk with you. I actually would love to start doing live power hours, just setting a time and people jumping on a Zoom call and doing power hours with people who want to just get their work done right there. And then if they have questions, they can ask. If not, they got it done and they move on with their day. So anyways, this girl never answered me, but I put her on my list, and I don't put any number. So it says up top, name, ranking, last date message, how do I know them, info and notes, a need, a struggle, and objection, stuff like that. And then there's one more column that says committed. So if they commit to a challenge group or something, what date they actually do that. And so I had already sorted my list. So the zeros are up top and the actually no zeros drop to the bottom. Because if they never answer me, that's something I'll go back to at a different time. And I will, reach out maybe again, or comment something specifically, like if they post something, I just maybe comment specifically, like, I always use a wedding example, but if like someone got married, or if they had a baby, or if they went like to Jamaica, like that's kind of something that people like talking about. So if you comment on it, it doesn't have to be like a creepy, like ask them 1,000 questions, but you're just paying them a compliment. And who doesn't like receiving a compliment? People are going to answer you for the most part. Sometimes people just don't even see it, or they like read it and then move on and just move on with their day. It's not always like something personal. So another example is the one on the left, is that this is a girl okay, so I went to high school with, I think my class started with like 1,100 and we graduated with like 900 or something, and 4,500 in my high school that time period. So it's really easy to know somebody, to genuinely like think you know someone, but not actually know someone from my high school. Which is very strange that from Derry, New Hampshire, it was that many people in one school, but it's like 5 towns. So I can really easily, people from my town, you know, they do look familiar. I could have seen them. I could have had study hall with them. I could have had a class, and I just am reaching out to them. And then I just pay them a compliment and ask them a quick question, you know, like, is that your son? And then the girl's like, oh my gosh, hey, I think she says something like, I totally thought the same thing. I don't know if we know each other. No, that's not my son. It's my nephew. And then she was actually a talker. So, you know, sometimes you get talkers, sometimes you don't. And she was like, hopefully I'll have kids one day. I'm getting married in the fall. Like, hello, so much to talk about. But I try not at first to go back and forth all the time, unless they want to, you know, unless they're like giving that feeling that they're like, they're a talker, I'm a talker, let's talk. But if they're not, I just say, a lot of times I'll say like, thanks for accepting my friend request. Maybe you look super familiar, or, hey, I saw you were friends with my friend Natalie. I always do this. She just has cute friends. And so I'll friend request, I'll be like, I saw you were friends with Natalie. I love that family. They are such amazing people. Did you grow up with her? And then sometimes they'll be like, yes, I did. They're amazing. Or something like that. And I'll say, so cool. Great to meet you. I'll see you around Facebook. And I just end it. I try not to be creepy, and I put them on my list over here. I put them as a 0 because I really don't know anything about them, but a conversation has been started. And so I then know later to go back and to reconnect with those people, to check out their Facebook and see like what big is going on, and then keep going. I have found when I reach out to somebody and then start with like the 40 questions of the form, people get kind of like weirded out. And so if I make it a more natural progression, it works better. So those are a few examples. I hope that got your minds jogging. So with the list, 0 for me is like, we just started a conversation, but I really don't know much about them. 1 is when I know a good amount of things about them. I'm beginning to really strengthen our form, and I have a good amount of notes, you know, about their lives. 2 is when I'm ready to invite, when I think our relationship is there and I could do it in a casual way. Like 3 is they're interested. 4 is like, you know, when you send somebody a link and then they never buy. 4 is like when you get there. And then 5 is when they like actually are in your challenge group or actually trying Shakeology or something like that. So, and I have this for you guys. I'm going to put it in the team page, or if you can email me and I can, you know, send this link to you. So this is for you, ready to go, and the training where I got this idea from. So you can look and see how she really breaks it down. But you can then, as you're adding people to your list, you know, all these columns are getting filled out, you can go to the top where it says A, B, C, D, and you like right click, and you can organize the sheet from, you know, highest to lowest. So I can put it numerically or alphabetically for names. If I'm searching for someone specific, I can put it, well, you still click A to Z, but it will put it 0 to 5. So then I can like go through and just bam, 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 start going through and reconnecting with however many people is my goal that day. So yeah. Okay, so then invite. So when you get to the place after you form them, after you're talking to them for a long time, you invite them. Now, this is the awkward part for a lot of us, but it shouldn't be awkward if we are thinking of their needs. You know, if we design a free group to really add value to their lives, if we design a challenge group to really add value to their lives, I love when people say the example of, would you feel bad for offering like a really expensive restaurant for a anniversary dinner? You know, if it's someone's anniversary and you're like, you should go to the Melting Pot or Fleming's, and someone's like, no, you're not offended that they're not going to go with you, and they're not offended that like they're like, wow, that's a lot of money, I can't believe they, you know, invite like off or suggest that I should go there. Sorry, Brenna, you just asked a question I did not see. Please hold. Can I unmute you? Hold on. Please hold. We'll get there in a second. So, with this invite, think about, will the group help them? Is your relationship there? Did you just reach out to them and they said hi, and then you're like, hey, do you want to go join my challenge group? Most of the time people are going to say no. There could be someone who's like commenting on your public invite, your call to action on your Facebook page, and that's a little bit different. That's that situation where a cold invite is more easily done. But also, you have to form them super, super fast when they are like, I want to join your challenge group. You have to be like, okay, like, what are your goals? Like you can't really recommend a program when you know nothing about them. So, and then I watched this awesome training from Summit a few years ago. And I think if anyone's heard of Fit and Funky, she's like one of a top coach, and she's just funny. She's so funny, and she just is sociable. And so what she thinks about is, would you invite this person to your birthday party? So, if you're having a big party, and I don't know why I think of this, but for my Arizona people, Big Bang, like Big Bang is kind of like this casual place where it's not like maybe an intimate dinner where you would invite only your closest people, but it's like, hey, do you want to go to Big Bang? Because it's this awesome piano bar and it's so much fun. Do you feel comfortable inviting them to that? And if that example doesn't work for you, don't worry about it, but kind of think, is your relationship there yet? Is this going to actually help them, or are you trying to go for Success Club points? Which ultimately is what we want. We want Success Club points. But if we're doing all this stuff, if we're building relationships, Success Club is just going to be natural. It's just going to happen. So here are 2 invites that I sent. I try to add something specific about them. I want them to know that this is not a script. I used to use a script and like kind of tailor it, and now I free write every invite because I just feel like it feels more natural. I have sent an invite once with the wrong name on it, and that was, I wanted to die. But sometimes people don't answer. Like this person right here has not answered me about my free group. And I will follow up with her, let her know no big deal. And this girl, she said yes, but then ended up not being able to afford it. But what I had her do was sign up for a free Team Beachbody account, and I'm helping her on the side. I'm helping her journal what she's eating. I'm helping her portion control. I'm sending her some recipes. This takes me very little time because when people don't purchase something, they don't usually really put a bunch of effort. It's just kind of how it works. And that's okay because that's their journey. When I first started coaching, I had been through such a transformation in my health and fitness that I wanted to help everyone. And it was like, let me help you. I was told, and it didn't matter to me about money or not money. Obviously I ultimately want to make an income, but I wanted to help people. But what I have found is that if people are not, like, I've sent Shakeology samples to people, but if they won't spend the $20 or $35 for that pack, they're not going to buy the bag, So if you can tell them, like, this is worth it, this is worth the try, you can get, if you do half a packet for, however many days, you're going to feel the difference. And you send them recipes, that's adding value. When I've sent people samples, they don't try them or mix it with water, and then it's over. Like, I didn't like it, I mixed it with water. It's like, well, I told you not to. But when people put their money into it, they care a little bit more. So anyways, this girl, I'm doing private coaching with her, and I basically give her what she gives me. If she doesn't journal, she's not journaling what she's eating, there's really not much I can help her with. But I still am contacting her. I'm still forming with her. I'm still building a relationship, because that's not all our relationship is. But I will help her if she wants to be helped. So then this is how I now track my invites. Up here, this picture is, I now physically plot when I invite people on what days. And at the beginning of the month, I wasn't very good at my invites. And that could have affected some of the reasons of, where I'm at right now, where it's the end of the month and I am still pushing for Success Club, which is not where I want to be. And so, but the end of the month, I have been on point. I have been really trying to care about people. And these invites are all about like lots and lots of different things. And so then I color people who are bolded, have committed and signed up for a free Teen Beachbody account. I've had people who already have, they buy it on the, or at a yard sale, eBay. That happens. You still want to help these people, have them sign up for a free account, and then you're their coach. And then, maybe they want to try Shakeology, or they want to try a new program. You're there. You're already helping them. And you already run a challenge group. It doesn't take any extra effort to just pop them in, So, and then I have lots of people who never answer, and I have lots of people who say follow up. So when people are purple, they're my follow-up people. So then when I reach my next group or my next free group or whatever, I can easily visually see very, very quickly on my invite list who to go back to. And then on the Google, and I use everything on Google Drive. I'm sorry if I didn't say that already. Google Drive has an option where I can add a note. So if I hover over this name, it's going to pop up like maybe why they said no, when to follow up, any note I want to add. And yeah, so that's really working. And then down here at the bottom, I just couldn't fit it all in one screenshot, is names that I want to follow up with, like that our relationship is getting really, really close to an invite, but maybe I'm not ready to pull the trigger, but I don't want to forget them. So when June is over, I'm literally going to copy and paste this little section down here and smack it on July's, because those, that doesn't go away. Our relationship is still getting there. I still think I could really help them. Or maybe they posted something, sometimes people post things all the time about struggle with money, or, like struggling with eating or something like that. But you don't want to just be like, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach, I can totally help you. But I write their name down, like they're really struggling. I could help them, but I need to build our relationship first. So yeah, then I'll delete them off June, because it gets too confusing if I leave the same list in multiple places. So I delete them and I just move them to July. And then when I'm ready to invite them, I pop them over to the calendar. And then like we talked about, is the follow-up. Follow up when they don't answer you, follow up when they say no, follow up, obviously follow up when they say yes. But, continue that relationship. Like I've said a few times now, remember that your relationship goes past this invite. You're more than that. You are more than that. You are more than a Beachbody coach. You have more to offer them. You have your kindness to offer them. You have your friendship. You have all those things to offer them. And so, yeah, here are some examples. So this one girl in the middle, she has been interested in 21 Day Fix for like literally a year. Since last July, I asked her for her first challenge group. And she's just never ready. And that's okay, because maybe she will be one day. Maybe she'll refer somebody. It doesn't matter. But I actually really enjoy this girl. We talk a lot. She's really funny. And you can see that this invite doesn't like change the dynamic of our relationship. I didn't screenshot the whole invite, but I said, I'd love to have you. Shoot me a message when you get a second. Oh, and that's also a tip I will add, is I don't give people the idea of no before they think it. So a lot of times I think we want to be like casual, like, if you're interested, like, no worries if you're not. I stopped putting that in there. I stopped giving them the out before maybe they even want it, because their fear could come up and be like, oh, she said it's no big deal. So, okay, I'm not going to do it. Let them ask questions and then let them say no later. That's fine. But then at least you got their mind thinking about it and you planted that seed. So, I'd love to have you. Shoot me a message when you get a second. I appreciate it. I'm going to pass this time. And then congrats, because she saw that because she's watching my page, which is social media over here floating around. She saw that I'm having a girl. And so that's amazing. And then we continue to talk for a while, because that's not our relationship. Sometimes people get weird after an invite, and there's really nothing you can do. You can try to be genuine and you can try to push forward. Sometimes people get weird. As long as you don't make it weird, it's not your fault. And that's why we're doing this continuously throughout the month, because people drop off. People think you're weird. People don't connect with you. People they cancel Facebook. Like, there's so many reasons why you have to continuously be doing these vital behaviors daily, so that when it's time, it's so easy to make Success Club. It's so easy to have a full challenge group because you're doing these things consistently. This girl, I messaged her. I followed up immediately, I follow up 3 days later. I said, hey, babe, not sure if you got my message above. Totally no pressure. And I always give them that, like, you know that you're welcome whenever you're ready. This is also a girl who's been interested for a long time. Sorry I didn't message you. I'd like to join. Like, if I didn't follow up, maybe she would have forgot about it. Or maybe she would have remembered, like, after the group had started or something, which she can always get it. But, you know, sometimes we want to get people in the group. So follow-ups are a huge part of this. It shows them. I had one girl once, when I was doing my old list, she slipped through the crack. I sent her an invite and I never followed up. And I found her like months later, and I went to our messages and I saw that that was the last one. And I was like, girl, I'm so sorry that that was our last message. Like, I totally no pressure with anytime any of my groups. Like, sorry about that. Life got busy or something. You know, I was honest, life got busy. And she was like, she said something like, good job on the follow-up. Like, straight up said it. And I was like, oh, well, I was being genuine. I was genuinely like, I'm sorry that that was our last invite, because I care about, you know, our relationship. So I hope those are a few examples. Now, how does this look into your power hour? Because that was a lot of information and I talk really fast. So, you know, if I break down I didn't put recognition on here, so I'm sorry about that. But if you look at your 3 vital behaviors, you know, you cannot do your entire Beachbody day in an hour. Sorry. Because if your workout's 30 minutes, you have to make your Shakeology, you have to listen to 10 to 30 minutes of personal development, like that, those 2 above things as I view as me time. That's how I'm, you know, when I'm stressed, when I'm overwhelmed with life, not even Beachbody, my whole life, because again, we're more than just Beachbody coaches. It's, you know, sometimes a huge part of it is that, you know, my nutrition's been off. I haven't been getting my therapy and fitness. I haven't been giving my mind what it needed in personal development. So that's something I schedule in a different part of my day. But I do these purple things. I actually don't do the friend requests, but most people do this all in one chunk and more. So you can sit down, but a lot of us, and I'm even, you know, at diamond level, and still 90% of my day should be on my business, helping you, my team, helping other people, in team page and stuff. That's 10%. And that doesn't change until like we're a 5-star or above. Like, you get to diamond, you get to emerald, you still work your business first and foremost every day. So I wake up, my son wakes up between 7:15, well, ideally between 7:15 and 7:30. And I'm up at the computer at 6 o'clock to quickly, because I have that list where I'm pulling names over super, super fast, reaching out. I'm not sending messages back and forth. I actually prefer to do it early in the morning so people don't message me. It's not because I don't want to talk to them right then. It's because I need to get my business done. And time is valuable. Your time, my time, it's valuable. So boom, you know, whatever your goal is, 2 to 5 reach outs. I then go to my list and I go to my 0s or my 1s or even my 2s, and I reconnect. I ask them about something about, you know, whatever's going on their page, or if we talked about, like, I had a girl, she was taking her teacher exams. I wanted to follow up and make sure that she wasn't stressed, or if she already had taken them or something like that, you know, showing an interest in their lives. that should be super, super fast because you already have a little bit of a relationship. And again, we're just caring about people. And then invites, 2 to 5 people a day. This is hard at first because if you just start and you have barely people to talk to, well, that's where your warm market comes in. That's where like your best friend who, if she says no, you're definitely still going to be friends. Or, you know, even getting people in who you know have the program, who bought it on eBay, invite them into your group so that you are getting bodies. You're getting people to help. And I promise that for me, at least, having these 3 systems of the list and then the invite page, and then I'll show you I posted it in Team Bull Fitness, but my daily tracker of just how I'm keeping track of numbers, because you know, it is about people, but it is about numbers. So if you look down here to the left, if you reach out to 2 new people a day, if you reach out to 2 new people a day, that's 60 people a month. That's 60 invites that they could say yes or no. That's 60 reconnects where you're building relationships. Do you think Success Club will be hard if you're inviting 60 people when you only have to help 3? It's a numbers game. Now, if you go on the high end, that's 180 people that you just started conversations with this month. Now, again, huge percent of them are not going to answer. Not a huge percentage, but a percentage are not going to answer. You're not going to get there in the relationship. But as you grow, you know, at 180, that's 3 months. That's what I did. So at 3 months as a coach, if you are consistent with this numbers game, and you have 100 and you've invited 180 people over 3 months time, and a lot of them say follow up with me, you know, do you think Success Club will be hard? No. But that's why we have to do this daily behaviors. And so take the stress out of it of who do I talk to? What do I talk about? Just care about them. Don't think about Success Club. Don't think about advancing rank. Don't think about things. Think about them, how you can help them, and do that. So for my power hour, I send these messages. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I have very big goals. And so I reach out to 5 new people every day, reconnect with 10, and invite 3 to 5, depending, because some days I just don't feel ready with some people, and that's okay. And then follow up with, you know, who I need to follow up with. So, but I'm adding more and more people I can talk to and I can love on, and I can, you know, and then, you know, there's trainings already that I have in our team page about social media, because this all works together. This is all like it's not an algorithm, but it's a word that I can never remember about Facebook. But Facebook is smart. When you're messaging with someone, your posts are popping up on their news feed. You know, so when you're messaging with 60 people in a month, 60 new people, never mind like your family and your friends who already love on you all the time, or, you know, coaches or challengers you already have, you're popping up in their news feed. And so this all works together. So if we just remember to, you know, add 2 new people to our Ferris wheel to spin around on our business, Success Club is not going to be an issue. And that's the fact. The months that I make Success Club, it's because I was consistent. End of it. Becca on our team, I mean, her first few months, she was just freaking killing it. And like, people were like, how are you doing this? How are you doing it? And she's like, honestly, I'm just being consistent. That's it. And that's the only thing I can say to you is the months that you know, the beginning of my month, you see, I wasn't really strong on my invites. That's my actual invite list this month. And it's the 25th and I'm at Success Club 4, and 4 people have the link and haven't purchased. So, you know, when you send out 5 links and you're like, oh, I'm good because, you know, they're going to order. They're not going to order. And that's okay. And you don't want to be that person that is like, order, you know, because again, it's about them. And if it's not ready for them, they're going to want to order from you when it is ready, when it is time for them. So I hope that was all really, really helpful. And then I just wanted to end with this quote that success is not measured in the amount of dollars you make, but it's in the amount of lives you impact. I don't know why I just got super emotional. But people, that's what this is about. You grow a team, and then I get to look at all you guys, and I get so excited that you get to help people, and we're helping everyone. And dollars will come, and they do come, and they do change our lives to be able to pay for groceries, or to pay for our Shakeology because we love it, or to do these things, or it's very little. I got paid, and I got something for my son, and it was like from my Beachbody check, and that was really important to me. So just remember that we're changing lives, and this is so wonderful that we get to do that. So let me show you really fast. Exit full screen. Is what I have for you guys. So you can literally, obviously review this training, but I broke it down with so the tutorial right here of how to input your Facebook friends, just kind of breaking it down again, how to do these things. The Google Sheet that I have, so I have these things for you to just copy and paste onto your own Google Sheet so you can start. And then the training on that ranking system, that 0 to 5, and how to work that. So that's all I have. So I'm going to end the recording, and then we can talk about questions. So just 1 second. I have to figure out how to do this. Stop share.